It was really, during the war, we were really cut off from the rest of the world.
Let's talk a little bit about the war. I know that you were in school, and you must tell us the story about how your German came and worked so well for you as part of that.
Because when I was, it was in 1943, like all the young people who were 18 or around, I did receive my marching orders,
right.
Which were all in French, but stamped by the Germans.
Oh, really?
No, it was really extraordinary. So we were supposed to show up in the train station within 48 hours,
right.
with enough food for 2 days, and we were supposed to take the train to Munich, and eventually we were told in those papers that we would start working in the what you would call it, les usines, you know, in the what's the word?
A labor camp kind of thing?
Well,
no, not
that.
that.
It was not a camp. It was in the where the manufacture.
Okay, on some factory of some
kind.
Yeah,
factory
right.
is the word I was looking
right.
for. So we were about 6 close friends in the medical school. So we all received the damn
right.
paper at about the same time. So we got together and said, what do we do with that? So everybody said, well, we'll tear the paper up. And we agreed, okay, we'll see each other
somewhere
later.
Right. Later.
We all disappeared in one way or another, in one place or another. Two of these friends, when actually we went to the underground. 2 of them went in a group which somehow involved some of my family. I was totally aware of that, because some of my cousins in the northern part of Burgundy, I had no idea they were involved. And one day they were caught in this German patrol, and all were killed, including my friend and a cousin of mine. Well, anyway, I decided to go further up north in the Jura Mountain, where I knew or suspected that some friends of mine had actually a camp
right.
of the underground. And that's where the fact that I spoke German saved my neck, because since by law the Germans were occupying that part of France, we could not travel other than in the city of where we were.
Right.
I was stopped by German patrols on a couple of occasions and actually thrown in jail.
Oh, really?
On these 2 things. And I repeat, the fact that I spoke German, I spoke German very well. Strange enough, with a southern accent of Bavaria, because my teacher had been from this part of Germany. And I don't remember what story I told them, but eventually they let me go the first time. Second time, 30 miles further up, I was caught again, and I repeated that. And the next morning I was able to get out of the jail thing and proceed to this place near Besançon, where actually I ran for the rest of the war. This camp where we had children which were, what's the word, evacuated,
right.
removed
from Paris,
around Paris because of the bombing
right.
of the factories by the Allies.
Much the same as the children in England were sent to the countryside
Absolutely.
to London for the same reason.
Exactly, and we also had quite a few Jewish children whom we were, of course, protecting and so on. And that was actually a wonderful thing in many ways. One day, and you know, we used to send to Switzerland, which was just a few miles, right. 10 miles from where we were, about. And they were quite cooperative, the Swiss side.
Oh, yeah.
So we used to send airmen whose airplane had been down, and we could, and other people who wanted to just go to the British and so on. And one day we received a phone call saying that this man was fleeing the government of Vichy because he was on his way to the Gaulle, and we were supposed to take care of it. So we went and took care of it. 4 o'clock in the morning, I woke him up and put him on the road, told him that. And about an hour later, I heard this very strange noise. These were German tanks who were coming and circling the camp. And strangely enough, most of the soldiers that came out of that had big fur thing. They were all from Ukraine. They were, you know,
Right.
but they were with the German
Right.
and so on. And to my amazement, there were also some French people.
Oh, really?
In I've forgotten what it was called. They were people of the Vichy
Right.
police
Yeah,
and
from,
so on.
right. Oh, I know. I do know.
I've
who they
forgotten
were.
the name of it. And you know, they would ask me, who was here, or what did you do with him, and so on. And I answered to them in German,
Oh,
because they were with
sure.
And you know what? They didn't speak German.
Really? Oh, they were from the Eastern Front, yeah. Yeah.
So they could not go complain to
Right.
the leading officer for the whole thing. And so eventually they left. Unfortunately, they killed 2 older people who were in the woods not far from us. They were old people, man and wife, who were getting some mushrooms. And so that was the sad part of it. The saddest, more sad or sadder part was that when the Fifth Army started to come from the south, there was this, well, it was more like a skirmish around, not too far from the camp, between the American tanks which were coming up and the Germans. And they were all sorts of things. And I was actually wounded by this shell that exploded too close to me. And I still have, as we are talking, I still have that scar in my skull. And I was out for a couple of days, but eventually came out of it. But the sad part was that one of the children was killed by that same explosion and so on.